Hey, everyone. Welcome to Americana, the show where we break down the latest in politics and current affairs. I'm your Democratic perspective, voice of reason, for the people, by the people, Shakia.
And I'm Willie Montague, the Republican perspective, the true reasoning.
Well, in this episode, you all will be discussing economic strategy or political power play. We'll see. So stay tuned. This is Americana. All right, everyone, it's that time of the show where we discuss, the latest happenings in our current country. Let's get into talking points.
All right, Shakia. So let's talk about the Pope. The Pope has come out in disregard to some of the orders of President Donald Trump. Now, this first is no offense to anyone who is a Catholic, but I think that this Pope is the most woke Pope that we have ever seen. I think that the Pope should focus on being in the Vatican and with the church instead of stepping over into politics and let those who know a little more about politics step into it. I think some of his things, especially about immigration, is just out of touch. There's a lot of money going around in the Vatican, a lot of stuff going on. So I think if anything need to be done, let's send all the illegals down to the Vatican and let them have a night stay at the Vatican with the Pope. But I think the Pope needs to stay out of politics. He has just been destructive in the way that he handles things. And like I said, I think he's woke. If you look at some of the things he's come out with over the last couple of months, it has been alarming to come from the church per se, especially.
You know what? I have a lot to say as rebuttal, but I will dive into that. It's good to see you, Willie. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Well, a lot has happened once again within 24 hours since we last spoke. I'm not sure whether to call him Sister Elon Musk, First Lady, First Gentleman, whatever you would want to call him. He was just featured as the Time magazine. He was featured on the front cover of Time magazine. And a reporter asked Donald Trump today, how did he feel about that? And you can tell Trump, because he wants to be the center of attention, he was very uncomfortable with Elon Musk taking the spotlight. So I look forward to talking with you about that.
Okay.
Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America on Google Maps. Now, that is only for U.S. users. And it's going to be very interesting to see how our teachers in the education system educate our children on the true history of this country and not just falling in line with this whole, agenda that Trump is trying to push on the American people. The other thing I want to talk about, Willie, today, General Motors and other, we have so much to talk about.
We do.
We have a lot to talk about. So let's dive right into it. Where do we start?
Okay,
you want to talk about this woke Pope?
Yes. Let's talk about the Pope. I think the Pope is woke. So I think he needs to take a sabbatical. That's why I call it. The Pope needs a sabbatical.
Are you serious?
He needs a sabbatical.
Okay.
I think that he needs to go back, have a little conversation with Mary, and find out what's going on.
Well, don't start this today.
And
Not scrutinize these people in their faith.
Little talk with Mary.
Okay, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around. You mentioned that he was woke. I wrote down some notes. He's woke. He needs to stay in the Vatican and stay out of politics. But how are you wanting someone who is of a particular faith to remain where they are, but yet Paula White is setting up shop in the White House?
Paula White is in America.
And she's white.
What?
She's white.
What does that have to do with anything?
A lot.
What is the Pope?
It has a lot to do with this.
So the Pope outside of the United States has more authority than Paula White?
No. Not even just that. It just goes to show you the bigotry of this country. If you do not share the same Christian nationalism that the Trump administration is trying to force down the backs of the American people, if you do not align with that, if you do not bend the knee and say, yes, master, I'll do this, then you are considered to be woke.
But Shakia, you just said
you
that
are considered to be woke.
He just said that he doesn't. Not too long ago, he said he doesn't acknowledge women. Now he got a woman leading.
It's a certain type of woman.
What do you want?
No. It's not what I want. It's what the American people needs. He is very particular about the women that he wants under him. He wants submissive. He wants to be the dominant. He's really into that type of stuff, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
he
Lord.
wants someone who is willingly able to put their agenda down to pick up his. It honestly reminds me of Christ. Put down your cross and take up mine.
Yeah,
you know, you want to do that?
Let's talk with Elon.
Okay.
Let's go into Elon.
So Elon, what are you about to say about Elon? Because there's a lot to say.
What is wrong with him being on the front of the Time magazine?
So there's nothing quite wrong. However, you know Donald Trump better than me because that's your, I was about to say that's your daddy, but that's not your dad. I don't know what you want to call him or reference him as. But as your leader, you and I both know that Trump loves the spotlight. He started off in The Apprentice. He is running this country as if it is a newscast, right? You have Elon Musk, who is on the front of Time magazine. When a reporter asked Trump about that today, he goes, oh, you know, no, I don't care about that. My question is, where is J.D. Vance? J.D. Vance is in the wind. I ain't seen this brother since the inauguration.
Well, what did you say before? The VP don't have much.
So now you want to talk about that?
I'm just going
now
back on what you said.
No.
The VP don't have.
So hypocritical.
The VP don't have that much
Y'all
power.
are so hypocritical. You were so hypercritical of VP Harris
on the scene
and her not being on the scene, and you were so critical of sleepy Joe Biden as y'all deferred to him as.
They're basement spiders. But we have an active administration. We don't have people who are weak.
You ain't lying about that. Y'all been active for the last 3 weeks. Everybody's getting pissed off.
And getting the job done.
Everybody is getting pissed off.
Well, who's everybody?
Canada, Mexico, the actual immigrants who voted for Trump, like the Hispanic communities, the other demographic of folks who didn't think that they would
I will say this in the most loving, polite way. There's 200 plus countries in this whole wide world.
Yes.
And if
then we are all pissing off 199.
If the United States is offending you, pick another one.
We could pick another one.
Pick another one.
We could.
But I'm glad here.
We could.
Because it's bigly.
Oh, it's bigly. I am excited to talk more about this with you, Willie, because, okay, we won't get into that later. Coming up right after this commercial break, we will dive into more discussion about tariffs. Are they effective? How's the economy? All these things right after this. This is Americana. Welcome back to Americana. Let's get into point counterpoints.
Ooh, okay. Let's talk about tariffs.
Let's talk about tariffs, baby.
So you guys, tariffs essentially is tax. And some reason the radical left has an issue with the fact that we are trying to stabilize the United States of America and not turn over all of our belongings over to these other countries. So let me break this down. Tariffs, get this, is restoring, especially the new with 25% increase on aluminum and steel, is restoring fairness to steel and aluminum markets, strengthening American manufacturing industries. And there have been 4 studies, you guys, 4 studies that have shown that tariffs works. Even the former treasurer, the Secretary of Treasury for Biden, said that tariffs would not cause an increase in consumer goods.
Okay, so are you finished?
I'm finished. I just want to see, it works.
The foundation. Okay, that's what we're trying to do.
It
Okay.
works.
So what you failed to exclude in your definition of tariffs is that it's a tax on imported goods that consumers will consume, that we would have to foot the bill and pay for. So yes, it could work in moderation. Trump is now implementing 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. That would not just impact the automotive industry, Will. That would impact groceries, because a lot of our goods that we purchase every day already high. Inflation is high, as your party was screaming during the campaign trail. That is going to skyrocket. And then you also have stuff like appliances and bicycles, everyday things that mostly, normal folk would use. And so who is going to help foot that bill?
As I just mentioned.
Just answer that. Who's going to foot that bill?
We're not going to foot that bill. I can guarantee you.
We're not going to.
We're not. I can guarantee you that President Trump and his administration is going to make sure that the people, the American people, everyday working middle class people, not the billionaires that you continue to mention, will be able to afford their grocery, their bicycles, their cars.
Of course, they're not concerned about that. They have all the things that they need.
No,
this is literally the Hunger Games in full effect.
Well,
what's the hand signal for Hunger Games?
Well, just make sure you in the right one then. So this is what we have to realize here.
Will?
This is essentially helping us to be the strong arm that we are in the United States of America. We are not some soft rollover people. We are individuals that are strong. The last administration has weakened us. They weakened our ability to stand as a true country that we are. And instead, everybody thought it was all about drag queens and pride flags, and everything was about woke agendas.
So
that is not what we're about.
We weren't even talking about that. I'm not sure how you got transgender and putting it with terrorists. That's y'all's problem. Y'all got a fetish for this. And I said this yesterday. I have no idea why y'all are so fixated on sexualizing the American people when everyday people are struggling.
No, you know what? The American people are struggling because of Biden.
Oh, my God.
He slept so long inside of that little basement called his head that he missed the opportunity for 4 years to be able to strengthen the United States. These tariffs is not
to the
do
day.
anything to consumers.
I look forward to the day where you, in particular, and your party of friends would stop bringing up past presidents, your party of friends, bringing up past presidents who you deem failed the economy, but yet when Trump inherited this economy, it was in a good place. Now he's pissing off people that we've had allies. Yeah, absolutely. Shakira
you thought this economy was in a good place? Eggs didn't become expensive overnight.
So we're going to track this, right? He got inaugurated 3 weeks ago. We are now going to enter into March coming soon.
Okay.
So at the end of the first quarter, I just want to do a comparison. Maybe we should have some charts about where he started and at where he's at the end of this first
y'all remember
quarter.
that.
We're going to pin
First quarter.
We're
going to come back and show you how great, how bigly of an increase.
How you trying to make America great again?
America great again.
So an example of this would be a consumer was on TikTok, and she was voicing her opinion about how she purchased something from over in China. She paid the original price for it. She then had to pay an additional $75 because of the very thing that you are saying that the American people would not have to foot the bill for.
I was doing that under the administration with Biden. I think that we need to, establish a manufacturer here in the United States of America. You folks, there are plenty of manufacturers right here in our backyard. We don't have to use China to be able to do the things that we need to do. I don't know why people are so fixated on China.
That's your president.
Why? No, it is Democrats that are fixated on China.
China is actually mentioned on the website's page now because of the tariffs. He is actually increasing this because of something that he feels like China did some loopholes when he implemented this in his last administration. So to be clear, Trump has a thing for the LGBTQIA community and China.
No.
Let's be clear, Will.
There is a Chinese Communist Party. And we do not need this Chinese CCP to infiltrate into the United States. One way they can, this is why they was going to ban TikTok, is because they come in with information, they come in with their balloons, and they come in. So we got to strong arm them and let them know that we are not going to allow them to come in here and run nothing in the United States.
So
we
what
are
do
a
you
strong
think,
infrastructure.
So just a slight pivot. I'm just curious to know your thoughts on this. Why do you think Trump wants to redevelop Gaza? What's in it for him?
How do we share this?
I just want to know.
Because he's all about order. He's about dignity.
In a different country?
Do we not have allies in different countries?
Now you want to talk about allies.
China is not an ally.
I know that, but now you want to talk about allies.
So why do we
like
go? But China is not an ally.
But why of
of
all
ours.
places that? If we're currently in war with these people and trying to figure out peace and the ceasefire
No, he just made it clear.
Why do
if
you
they don't
think
want to uphold that agreement, he said, all hell gonna break loose, and I'm with them. Break it.
Terror.
Break it loose.
Fear.
You have to understand. Throughout history,
all I can say is
we won
stay prayed up
that.
under this administration.
Stay prayed up, but it's gonna be great.
Buy your canned goods, hide your kids, hide your wives. The Trump administration is just horrible, wreaking havoc on this current nation. And so, listen, we are actually going to go. I think we have to wrap up soon. Is that correct? Have we already reached that time of the show? There is so much to talk about with this country. Oh my God. Okay. Any last words before we wrap up?
No. No.
No? You said all you wanted to say today?
I said what I had to say for that, but we got one more thing to come into.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Well, we'll see. Well, we have to take a short commercial break, and coming up after this, we'll be back with Fact or Spin. This is Americana. Come on in the room. Welcome back, everybody. This is Americana. Let's get into Fact or Spin.
All right, Shakia. So you know I like to call this political personality disorder. That's my own little thing, y'all.
Y'all go, making up
political personality disorder. So let's talk about the unhingedness of the Democrat Party.
Sure.
All I've been seeing is, again, I said Maxine Waters.
Auntie Maxine, for some respect for her name.
Maxwell Frost and several of the other members of Congress, whatever.
Maxwell
All of these individuals are literally yelling in the camera. We're going to march. We're going to go down. We're going to let them know this is an unhinged type of leadership. If they spent more time on the floor of Congress instead of marching and trying to break into the Department of Education,
when you want to talk about breaking in?
And to cause an insurrection of our
the
government.
Gaslighting is beyond me.
So the Democrats are now part of this new wave to terrorize the American people's buildings.
Wow.
And so
your word choice reminds me so much of Trump. My goodness, you sound like a Fox reporter.
It is scary about what the Democrats are doing. And the fact that they're threatening to march and using some of the vulgar language as these people who are elected congressmen, I would be telling everyone to watch your kids and your wife because they're coming to a neighborhood near you.
So here is my takeaway from that. I hear you loud and clear. ignorant, but I hear you nonetheless. So when you say that, it's, what did you call it? You said something about them marching, like that's a threat for them to march. I would rather them march. People who look like you and I will march on behalf of our civil rights. And because of that, we're able to have the freedoms that we have today because of a peaceful protest. So
you think they're going to be peaceful?
It can be peaceful, absolutely. So if you want to compare apples to oranges, like the Mr. President, we can go there, right? So unhinged leadership, they're barking at people, demanding them to be let into a meeting or whatever. But then you had the insurrection that happened on January 6th.
That was not an insurrection.
That wasn't insurrection.
The thing that's happening.
That was a coup.
The insurrection is when they walked up demanding
property.
These Democrats, these radical left individuals.
You had law enforcement officers who were brutally wounded and injured. You had a few of them who succumbed to unaliving themselves because of all of the chaos that they endured on that day.
Who unalived them?
You had state capitol officers who were trying their best to protect the very democracy that we have in this country. And yet you are threatened by Congress people who are fighting on behalf of the American people who elected them into office.
They had a January 6th committee, an unselect committee, and this January 6th unselect committee actually found there was no evidence of an insurrection.
Yet there is a full documentary and a ton of footage who would display the acts of violence that happened on January 6th
and it
under
was,
Trump's
it was
watch.
a coup by the Democrats. They put it together. They infiltrated the Republican Party.
Will, I know we're on TV right now, but there is no possible way that I believe that you, as smart and capable as you present to be.
Even with these white supremacist group that people say is out there, these are people going out there to cause division.
So the white boys, the Proud Boys, who were found in Cincinnati just the other day, who had flags, who had the mask over their face, who were stopped by YNs. If you know what YNs is, just keep it to yourself. YNs, young Negroes, I'll just say it that way, actually stopped them dead in their tracks and burned their flag. Why were they in a black community marching, as you say, peacefully, right? But that is a form of intimidation.
Let me tell you,
that this country is very familiar with.
Well, let me tell you this, and I'm gonna do.
The hoods are off.
I'm gonna do a Maxine Waters thing and reclaim my time.
The hoods are off.
So I want to get this. I was at an event. And I was standing outside this event, and all the people that came up to me was all of these LGBT radicals. It was all of these Democrats. They came face to face, nose with me, yelling and screaming in my face. I'm talking about pro-life issues and standing up for all communities, right? It was the Proud Boys that had to come and protect me against the Democrats. The same black people that you're talking about was the same people that was attacking me.
And I just want to say, for reference, the Proud Boys trademark is now owned by a black pastor in Washington, D.C. We thank God for that.
And now he can really get to the foundation of the Proud Boys. So I'm just telling you that the Proud Boys is not what people make them out to be. They were there protecting and shielding. Yes, there are black people in the Proud Boys. The leader of the Proud Boys is not even white.
Understood. But they don't like you, Will. I just want you to remember that.
That's not true. That is fake news.
I just want you to remember
that. Comes from the Communist National Network,
I want you to go to
which
one
is
of their
CNN.
Meetings, and I want you to join.
Their meetings are not like that.
So you've sought them out?
I already know how it works.
I really want you to join. If you said you can join, I want you to join.
People, we are going to bring a Proud Boy on the show.
That would be great.
And we're gonna have a conversation.
So you bring a Proud Boy, I'm gonna bring a Black Panther.
Well, you do that, and we're gonna have a conversation. Y'all got this? We're gonna do it. That's gonna be a show. That's gonna be a show. But like I said, the Democrats are continuing this vicious, naive attack that just because they don't like President Trump, that they think they are privy to going into these things. He has a cabinet. No one really came after Biden's cabinet, didn't come after
because there was
Obama's
a level
cabinet.
of integrity and protocol in place. Now the gloves are off. Trump has made it very clear that morals and integrity is no longer a thing for the White House. It's gloves off. So honestly, I commend the Democratic folks who are at their door, bamming it down, asking for questions, demanding answers, because the American people need transparency.
Yeah, you know why they
need transparency.
You
transparency, Will.
Listen, people. You know why they're banging at the door? Because they're afraid that all those millions of dollars that they got donated to their campaigns is going to be exposed about how fraudulent that they are, and they're not trying to represent you, the American people. Instead, it's their best interest. That's why they're banging at the door. They're scared that all of their cover is coming off. That's what they're scared.
And I guess that could go for both sides of the aisle, because you have a ton of Republican folks who have literally been caught in fraud, but yet they are able to hire well-known attorneys to sweep those things under the rug. So if we have a felon as a president, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
I told you, what Cat Williams say?
It doesn't matter.
Never convicted. Got 35 felons, never convicted. Jail and prison is not the same.
We need to have Cat on the show, too.
We got to bring him on the show.
We need to have him on the show.
Well, he agreed. He just got the same views.
What else do you need to say about this?
That's it. Y'all, I'm for the people, but for the people that is going to understand.
You for the people?
I'm for the people.
Which people, Will?
I'm for all people.
Really?
United States.
You them all lives matter people.
All lives matter. Because under all lives, you got Black lives, Hispanic lives.
In the middle of Black History Month. Thank you so much for tuning in to Americana. You can catch us here weekdays at 6:30. I am Shakia.
And I'm Willie.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. This is Americana.
Have a good one.